Mike really looks so young.
All right, half a day, everybody. The Islandwide Beautification Task Force meeting will come to order. The time is 11:02. Please note for the record, the following members are present. We have Sarah Thomas Nedaduk from the Department of Corrections, Mike Weekly from the Department of Youth Affairs, Nick Rupley Lee from the Guam Environmental Protection Agency, former Mayor Robert Lozama, our liaison to the Mayor's Council, Jerry Toes from the Guam Department of Labor, Vince Ariola from the Guam Department of Public Works, Rob Augustine from the Office of Homelessness Assistance and Poverty Prevention, Stephanie Flores from the Guam State Clearinghouse, and other staff. First item will be to Stephanie Flores giving us an update on the community improvement projects.
Yes, thank you, Lieutenant Governor. Just a quick update on our community improvement projects, most specifically our gym improvements. We have completed Moleso and Derido. Those have been completed. Barragata and Manilo are at 95%. We're really just working on punch list items now for those two gyms. So they should be opening, if not the end of December, first part of January. They're just depending on the final touches on those punch lists. We do have new gyms in the works, and so those applications have been submitted, and they've been pre-vetted by Land Water Conservation National Park Service, and we're working out the final details on those. So that is for MTM, Asan Maina, PD, Humatak, Inalahan, and Santa Rita. And part of the differences that we'll be having for these gyms is incorporating mini skate parks. So we're working with a newly formed nonprofit organization that works with the skating community, so to inform what would go into those mini skate parks. So they're nothing very large scale, but for really catered towards beginners and getting young kids involved in skating and skating safely. And that's it for the CIP updates right now. The next thing we have is bus stop adoptions. We've had, since our last meeting, a handful of new adoptions, but a nice response on renewal of adoptions. So if anybody wants to adopt the bus stop in their village or near their place of work, they can contact our office at 671-473-1157 through 62, or email us at ibtf@guam.gov, and we'll help you with that. There has been some interest, and maybe Mayor Bob, you can help me with this. Some interest very recently about adopting power poles and painting the lower portions of power poles as a form of beautification. And so if you could facilitate that, what goes into doing that, well, of course, we're worried about the safety and integrity of the power poles. We don't want to do anything to jeopardize that, but perhaps with your connections through the streetlight program, if we could work on getting that program vetted, that would be wonderful.
Yes, of course, that is a GPA program that provides mayors requesting for utilization of their bucket trucks for like tree trimmings or any sort of service that GPA is needed with the mayors. What happens there is that they go into this credit system, that the amount that it will cost for a tree trimming, as an example, then it will equate to how many power poles they're able to, if the mayors do agree to adopt these power poles and beautify by, you see it happening in some of the villages. I know MTM is one of them that was very aggressive in that, in painting their power poles. So yes, indeed, it's been absent in Jigo, and it's something, of course, that would be, I'm sure, workable for the incoming, and it's a good briefing material for the incoming mayors as well. So that
But
Right.
are
So
you
we have
saying,
a lot of
Stephanie,
community
that
groups who want to
they're
do like some like scenic scenes or some beautification of the lower portion of the poles, so that no bucket trucks or anything that would be needed. It's just really for the bottom portion of the poles.
Oh, yes, of course. But the ongoing program that GPA has for this adoption of power poles to paint them yellow, GPA provides the paint. Mayors will get the manpower to go out there and paint those poles, so that they would assist GPA as well in trying to help beautify by
But
providing
in
these.
other words, the yellow though is a safety thing. So maybe you guys need
Correct.
to have a sidebar conversation
Right.
and figure
Sure.
out
Yes.
if what the parameters GPA has, and actually you need to talk to Public Works since I mean those are, it's all about road safety, right?
The highway safety, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Thank
definitely.
you. I just wanted to raise that we have been getting quite a bit of requests for adopt the power pole for beautification
Did you-
purposes.
And of course, you mentioned about like other than yellow is like art painting or anything of that sort, like mural
Yes.
as well. Okay, all right.
Okay. The last update I have is sort of a really good one. And when the governor's SORT team ended its mission and getting the schools open, we had a group of volunteers come forward and ask to continue to help with beautification efforts. And so there was a group of volunteers from the National Guard led by Sergeant First Class Araman, and he organized some volunteers to work with Chris Flores of our office, and they were able to cut the grass at 10 different schools, DL Perez, Fenagadon Elementary, Matananao, CL Taitano, JQ San Miguel, Marshall Sablan, Ocean View, Harry S. Truman, and Alahan Middle School, and Estumbo. So they've been able to do all of those as a way to sort of bridge the grass cutting to make sure that they were manageable, particularly for the schools who had sanitary inspections coming, and then to get them to the point where DOE maintenance can then continue. So we really wanted to just thank that group for the very silent work, but very visible work that they did. And just to thank them for those efforts that not a lot of people knew about, but definitely was much needed. And we welcome those types of efforts to help the community and to help the schools. So we wanted to just thank Sergeant Araman and that group for their help.
All right, thank you very much. And I think that we're
coming up. They're going to be working on Padre Palomo Park over the weekend. That'll be coming up, and so that's another project that they've asked to help with, and so we're working with them on that one as well.
Yeah, LT, if I could, just to follow up on Steph's report from yesterday's meeting with the mayors. We're going to look at we're looking at the numbers, but it looks like we need an additional 60 to 80 bus shelters for the school kids that are out there. So we're looking at either packaging a bid to based on our specs to either let that out for contractual bid, or we could do it in-house. We're just going to look at the numbers and see what basically we can afford. But right now, I think that the minimum number that we need right now is about 60. So we're just waiting for a listing from the mayors to see how many bus stops they require within their villages. So we'll work closely with them, but we want to get that out as soon as possible, especially with the dry season coming up.
You're going to match that with whatever you have from school bus operations, because they have a viewpoint as well, I'm sure.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Okay, thank you, Stephanie. And actually, Vince, we'll pivot to you on road improvements in the derelict building project.
Okay. Thank you very much, LT. In terms of road improvements, we are in the southern village of Hoggett right now. I think we have about 11 separate streets to pave there. We're about halfway. As we make our way around the island, we're going to be doing some work in Humatec, a little bit of flood area there, flood work. Then we're going to be in the village of Maleso. We're going to do the basic village there. Then from Inarajan, we're going to do from like the 76 gas station pretty much to the village. That's going to be a long stretch. And that should finish up the initial work we did about 2 years ago. And then we'll make our way north. to places like Barragata and I think all the way up to Derido and Jigo. Village Streets is going pretty well. Again, we go in at the schedule of our contractor, who kind of leapfrogs from between projects on base and then outside of the base. So we work with them very closely. So that's going as smooth as we can. We're also going to do some major striping. We're really just waiting for this weather to cooperate. We're going to stripe pretty much Marine Drive from, let's see, there's two sections from Adelup to the Port Authority, and then from Route 30, which is Chalan, Governor Carlos G. Camacho Road, Route 30, the road from there all the way to Adelup. And then we also have a task order to stripe from the Micronesia Mall all the way to the front gate of Anderson. So those you're going to see right quick. Task orders are already out. As soon as we get the contractor and he's ready to go with his supplies and materials, you'll see them all over Marine Drive. And I think I don't think I have another striping. A little bit of striping on Route 8 from Agana to, I believe, Cars Plus. Yeah.
I think you also had Vince from Naval Station going into Mobile Gas Station. I think that was
yeah, that little portion there. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Then we're gonna let the bid out again for Route 10. We let that out 2 months ago, about 2 or 3 months ago, and it really came in over our budget. So we're gonna downscale that or separate it into 2 phases, similar to what we've done with other projects. And we're gonna do to the greatest extent possible a simple mill and pave on Route 10. That's gonna be from the tri-intersection all the way to the intersection of Route 10 and Route 4. That's going to be a 5-lane project, 212. And then later on, funding, if funding is provided or funding available, we'll do some of the safety improvements, which is going to include a better signalization at the UOG intersection, and then another signal traffic light by the new Payless and KFC over there. And then especially that area.
And just as in a related note, with Route 10, are you? I went to the opening of McDonald's in Maguilao yesterday.
Yes.
And one of the managers was talking to me about traffic there because people are and I see the lanes, right? So
right.
It looks like you're preparing to connect Mobile and McDonald's, that intersection into that traffic light?
Yes, sir. Most especially,
I think they said that there's been, and for the motorists to be careful there, there's been a few accidents already, as I understand, in that area, or near accidents.
Right. We'll take a look at that. We should still have traffic apparatuses up there, such as the candlesticks and cones, just to slow the people down, because we know the traffic's going to be really heavy at McDonald's. Right.
Actually, that entire intersection for the village of Maguilao is turning into quite a number.
Maguilao's growing.
Yeah.
It's really growing. That's why we really want to do
economic
growth. Take care of Route 10.
Yeah.
And do they're called safety features throughout that portion that I just mentioned. There'll be some in Barragata around the Wendy's area, some at that turn into GCC, and then of course the UOG intersection, and then lastly the one in front of Payless.
Okay.
So
Vince,
that's what.
Just so you know, Waterworks has now started their Aplatzal Bridge repair project, and if you could just
The construction?
Yeah,
Yes.
they're already active now. But maybe we can describe to the residents what we're going to be seeing on Route 17.
Yes. What we've had there, specifically by the Apatzal bridges, we've had underground springs that have been, they basically have been coming up for many years. And so we worked with Guam Waterworks because they had some leftover money from a previous project, and they threw some money of their own to take care of that. And so they've got a contractor there that will tap the underground springs and send the water right into the Aplatzal River. And then in conjunction with that, we also have a village road paving that'll take it from the intersection of 5 and 17, the beginning of Route 17 on the west side, to just past the Didasco area. And until we can get the bid out for the complete reconstruction of Route 17, and that's coming up as well. We'll see that in the next year and a half, if not 2 years.
Okay.
So
Derelict buildings?
on the derelict buildings, we've basically had a slowdown on that, Lieutenant Governor. So we just spoke with staff. We're going to wrap it up at the beginning of the calendar year, January. I've given them a challenge to do at least 10 derelict buildings a month. So we've basically set a quota. So there's two things we're really going to ramp up starting January. Is we've set a quota for derelict building notice of violations starting in January, and then in addition to that, and we've been really having some heavy duty meetings with regard to abandoned vehicles. As you know, there's the public law that mandates DPW to basically be in charge of the collection of abandoned vehicles, especially on government easements and rights of ways and anything that's left on our roadways. So we're going to really ramp that up. So caution the public: do not leave and abandon your vehicles on public roadways, because we will get to you. We will check the VIN number. We will work with DRT, and if we find out that that's your vehicle left on the roadside, there will be consequences. So we've got a staff ready to go out. We spoke with DRT already. I just need to formalize it that they will give us access to their vehicle registration. That'll make it easier for us to track down these individuals who leave their vehicles on the roadsides. And so we're going to really ramp that up. It's a blight on Guam's roadways, but most especially it's a real safety issue, leaving a vehicle just to be abandoned on the roadside, and you really run the risk of other motorists getting into accidents with those vehicles that they leave on the roadsides.
I think there's also some reports about towing companies leaving vehicles too.
Yes, we're going to try to, as much as possible, go after them. Especially, there's known areas already, especially the back road to Anderson, and there's a few roads in Derido that we're going to specifically look at.
Another one. Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I guess that's a perfect way to pivot, Vince, into Guam EPA, since
thank you very much.
Also are facilitating. They're the partner on abandoned vehicles and on illegal dumping. So Nick Lee.
Hi, Hafide. Good morning. Thank you, LT. Just a quick update on the MCOG Island-wide Environmental Cleanup Program statistics to start things off. So the FY24 count for abandoned vehicles processed through the MOA is 1,883. White goods came in at 1,287 pieces. Junk tires came in at 2,542 pieces. E-waste, that's your electronics, come in at 1,332 pieces. Mixed metals came in at 229 cubic yards. We are going to be sending off the finalized MOA for the FY25 funds sometime today. We know that the MCOG executive director is ready to sign, so we should be able to square that away today. Once our administrator signs it, we'll route it over to MCOG to start that process off. In terms of our litter citation data, since the start of FY25, the agency has issued 13 litter citations, half of which are related to illegal dumping, specifically for abandoned vehicles. We've also seen an uptick in illegal dumping and abandoned vehicle dumping activity on CLTC property. So as with every complaint and every tip that the agency receives, we respond to them in the order in which they come in. In most cases, compliance and enforcement action is taken, whether it's through a letter of warning or through a litter citation that's filed with the courts. In some cases, a notice of violation will be issued to violators and respondents of those complaints. That concludes this report, subject to any of your inquiries.
All right, thank you, Dick. I also might make a note that Guam EPA is looking at improving the processing and paperwork with the Mayor's Council for the program. So I think that's one of the items discussed yesterday at our meeting with the mayors. All right, Dr. Austin Sheldon from Center for Island Sustainability and Guam Green Growth.
Thanks, Lieutenant Governor. We've been moving some of our actions forward at Guam Green Growth. And one of the updates I have for you is an upcoming event. Next week, we'll be doing a tree planting in partnership with the Department of Chamorro Affairs in Chamorro Village. We're going to be planting a few native species around the Chamorro Village grounds. So if anybody's interested in joining us in this volunteer event, it will start at 5 p.m. That's same day as night market, Wednesday, and we're meeting near the main tower and our Guam Green Growth Circular Economy Makerspace and Innovation Hub. Also coming out later this month or early in January will be the announcement for our taking applications for our next cohort of the Guam Green Growth Conservation Corps. This will be season 5, where we have spots for 10 to 12 members, 18 and older, from any background, but they need to have a passion for sustainability and learning new skills to support the emerging green economy on our island. They'll get training in agriculture, aquaculture, invasive species removal, renewable energy, marine conservation, and so much more. And so all of our, well, many of our graduates, we got together with our alumni earlier this week, and they're all doing great. Getting jobs at the Research Corporation of the University of Guam, at our local agencies like Department of Agriculture, Guam Energy Office. They're doing a lot of the NAVFAC work for environmental monitoring. And so we want to continue providing those training opportunities for our residents, and they're ending up in good high-paying jobs in the green economy. So please look out for that. And then in 2025, it's our plan to continue to expand some of our workforce development and economic growth opportunities that, and so we're tracking that and writing new grants, and we should have some announcements with those awards by early next year as well. Finally, the last update is that please mark your calendars for our 2025 University of Guam Conference on Island Sustainability, which is typically co-chaired by Governor Leon Guerrero and University of Guam President Anita Borja Enriquez. This coming year will be the theme Solutions for Our Future. So we're going to be looking at some technological advancements that will be some pathways that we can take to create that sustainable future. And as always, we're going to tie that back into a lot of the indigenous island wisdom that we've had here for many generations, thousands of years in Guam. So we usually have about 400 to 500 participants. They come from all over the world, not just Guam and Micronesia, but also the Caribbean and Indian Ocean, US mainland. So we're looking forward to that. Thanks, Lieutenant Governor.
Thank you very much, Austin. All right, next up is going to be Angel Soblan from Parks and Rec. Angel, you're on mute.
There you go. Good morning, Lieutenant Governor. And everybody. As far as a DPR, we still continue to clean out areas where we have a lot of growth. Thank you, Lieutenant Governor, for allowing us to keep some of our DOL employees so that we can do maintenance. We have a donation actually of 100 royal palms that are in 5-gallon buckets that are ready to be put in the ground. And we're going to work with Department of Ag to see where we can place these royal palms to, beautification for our island. And the guy wants to donate it to us because, he doesn't want to keep watering them. So we're going to pick those up. You probably have noticed, if you go by the Hagåtña Marina on that side of the channel, that we've cleared out a lot of the bush and even the old broken canoes that have been sitting there. I don't know for how long, but we can now see the channel right as you pass by. And then, of course, we've removed the people that the homeless that have been just camping out there under the Tangantongan and under the overgrown vines. So those are gone. The bollards that you see on East Hagåtña, West Hagåtña, that are all damaged from Typhoon Mawar, we're finally getting some traction with the FEMA projects to get it going. We're going to get it obligated here in about a week or so, and then we're going to try to put that out on either bids or get quotes for it so that we can start replacing those bollards back where they are just laying there for now. As far as the lighting for our walkway park up in the complex, Harmon Complex, as I mentioned to you a couple of days ago, we're still waiting for it to be completed. Some work has started, but it's been put on hold, and I have to check with GVB what the reason for that is. EPOW, we're also awaiting their GVB's commitment to put back the bollards that they took out after Mawar. They said they wanted to do that because they wanted to replace the bollards with something else besides what we had there. I think they want to put something that's more attractive. On the Hilton side, where you see a wall between the Hilton and the parking lot of EPOW, Hilton Hotel has come up with an idea to open an opening there on that wall so that people from Hilton don't have to go down the street to get into the park. So we're just waiting for the design plan of that from Hilton. They're going to pay for everything. They're going to lock the gates, open it in the morning and lock it in the evenings after EPOW hours. And they'll be the ones to expend for whatever materials and labor that has to be done for that, opening that wall. We've met with them already twice on it, and it looks like it's going to start soon. As far as some of the Hagåtña Paseo de Susana Children's Playground, we're working with GPD on their program, community outreach program, and they've agreed to enhance that playground by, I guess, donating some equipment that can be placed there. On the basketball side of that, where it's right next to the playground, we're working with some pickleball organizations, because they're interested in outlining the basketball court, because it can put a pickleball dimensions in there. So we're going to do that, and we're working with them on that. So there is some movement on some things that we're doing in the parks and for the beautification. The only other concern, actually, as Nick mentioned earlier, is these abandoned vehicles. And we're finding them, especially in our legal parks, where we have them removed and then still people come and put them right there at the entrance of the park. So we're trying to get our park police to be more vigilant to see whether they can catch some of these people that are doing this. But it's a problem for all of us, not just for parks. But I know that you are working on it. Vince and I are also working on it to make sure that we follow your mandate to try to remove some of these vehicles. I don't know if you pass Woostig Road. It's becoming, every day I think they add a vehicle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's and obviously, one of the residents probably is culpable on that. I think that probably EPA and others need to take a look at that for an investigation right next to that park. Angel, before we pivot and Stephanie is going to take over the chairmanship for the rest of the meeting with DO Agriculture. I have to go and speak at the PATA conference, but I just wanted to ask you if you could coordinate with the chief of staff. We know that Adelup has become a tourist attraction as well. We see quite a number of tourists and visitors and local residents coming onto the grounds. So the governor and I have spoken about making Adelup open as a park over the weekend. Normally the gates are locked. It will be some coordination, I think, with our office and with the park rangers and Guam Police. So if you could just figure out, Angel, to when we're going to activate and open for the daytime hours on Saturdays and Sundays, that would be we want to be able to get that done.
Which side, Lieutenant Governor, are you talking about where the pavilions are at?
No, we're talking about up here in the upper side, where the executive offices are. So, there's as you probably know, when you in my office, the scenic area the vista is very beautiful, and we know that people are coming. Of course, Adelup is well maintained, but the gates are locked because, of course, concerns with vandalism. But we're going to have an operations plan to keep this open and keep everything safe up here too over the weekend. So if you can maybe have assign Captain or Colonel Terlahi to maybe come up with that, figure out based on your manpower and what we need to do up here. And of course with Guam Police, since executive security this is an operating area for them as well.
Okay, and you want it open on weekends then?
Yeah. Figure
Okay.
out what the hours are so that it can help with
Right.
that. And we'll continue on the meeting with Stephanie as chair. But go ahead and continue, Angel.
Okay, so we'll work on it, Lieutenant Governor. I'll have the Chief Terlahi work with your executive security and GPD. So we can have an ops plan on it. Thank you.
Angel, did you have a report on the pool? Either of the pools? The progress on the pool?
Progress on the pool, as we met with the LT on Tuesday, Vince reported that they've extended the bidding dates another week. I think there's a company out of Hawaii that's working with a local company here, and they had requested for a 2-week extension, but they only approved for 1 week. So it's out there. I know for myself that there's actually 2 contractors that have shown interest because they've called my office asking for more information on it. So hopefully,
Yeah.
we'll
Bid closing date is the 18th, and so we should receive whatever bids are out there. But I agree with Angel. There's clearly interest in getting that pool renovated. So once we get that, we'll evaluate the bids and move on it as fast as we can.
And we're working with also DPW and DPR for an MOA that Jeff Moose is working on for our signatures. So hopefully that'll be done this week.
Great. Thank you. Any other updates from DPR?
The only other thing is actually we're working with the grants that we submitted a couple of weeks ago, and the other one that I know there's interest on is the playground for EPAL and for here at the Paseo. And I think I submitted to you some of the equipment that is available, and you had stated that you would try to see whether you can have some of your funds made available for that. So
yeah, we're working on that. We're working on getting some of those things funded through land water conservation.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So Department of Agriculture, Chelsea Munya.
Hi, Hafiday. Okay, I will start with everyone's favorite, the stray animals. For this year to date, total intakes for gain is 4,961 animals. That breaks down to 3,622 dogs and 1,338 cats. Of that, 589 were adopted, and the rest largely were euthanized. We've had 2,491 SNP surgeries. So that's community-based spay-neuter surgeries. And that exceeds numbers that we had for last year. And we're not done with the year yet, so it's pretty good looking so far. We had 4 responsible pet owner events. We issued 157 pet licenses, 107 microchips, and 126 rabies vaccinations. Last year we did 7 responsible pet ownership events. We were down a couple this year with some staff shortages, but we are in the recruitment process to replace some animal control officers. And for our forestry division, we had 13 planting events this year, 6,300 trees planted, 14 acres treated, and over 409 volunteers engaged. Also with our forestry division, let's see, we issued community or grants to nonprofit organizations in the community. $2,500 went to Guam Coalition Against Sexual Assault and Family Violence, $7,600 to Guahan Sustainable Culture, close to $10,000 to Harvest Ministries, and close to $7,000 for the Magalahan Hurao Chamorro Charter School. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Chelsea. Are there any reports from anybody else? Maybe Mike Weekly, you want to report on the event that's happening tonight at Skinner Plaza?
Hi, good morning. Good morning. Thank you for that. Yes, we're just going to announce that tonight we are having the 3rd annual Governor's Christmas Parade, with the theme of the colors of Christmas. I'm pleased to announce that we have about 36 entries. That includes floats and marchers, and we have approximately about 21 to 22 booths that are going to occur around Skinner Plaza. The good thing tonight is that we were able to coordinate with the food trucks. So all the food trucks will be lined up in front of the cathedral area. And so it will help us with the crowd control and provide a more safer festivity tonight for the kids and the watchers. Last year we were kind of nervous because with the food trucks, it pushed kind of all the kids out to the main road. And so hopefully tonight, that's going to be a lot easier to handle. Thankfully, with the Public Safety Committee, we were able to get approximately 50 to 60 individuals to help with crowd control, to help with security, as well as to help guide the floats and the parade around Skinner Plaza. So we're inviting everybody. The press release went out again regarding the road closure. Unfortunately, we were hoping it will go out a little earlier, but something we need to work on for the next time. But we are excited. It's going to start at 6 o'clock. Parade starts at 7. For all those that have a float or a booth, thank you guys for your participation. And we hope to see everybody out tonight. And, come in your colorful outfits and your lights, and, we'll make a good event tonight.
And Mike, are we correct in the rumor that we heard that Santa's going to make an appearance?
I believe so. I just got confirmation about 20 minutes ago that he is en route, and he should be there in time to end the parade.
Thank you. If there are no other comments or concerns, we'll go ahead and adjourn the meeting. Thank you, everybody. Have a good weekend.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
See you guys tonight.
Tonight.